Hi there, lovely stitchers, I hope you're all well. So this week's foray into darning or visible mending is a combination between the seed stitch darn that we did last week and the week before's woven darning. So this is the sample I've done. I think it lends itself really well to visible mending, and the back of it is so gorgeous as well, so you could use it either way really. I've used it to cover up a paint spot, but it's intended to cover up holes. So let's have a go, and as always, don't forget, if you really enjoy the video, like and subscribe, and I love to answer your comments or read your comments. Yeah, so don't forget to do that as well. I'll see you in the video. Bye bye. Alrighty, so over the last couple of weeks we've done a little woven square and we've done this seed stitch darn. So we're going to kind of combine the two together now. So I'm just going to pop that across there. And you see this little splash of paint? I'm going to use that as I'm going to cover it up. Okay, so I'm back to a hoop just because I want to make a bit more space. Apologies if you've not watched the very first one yet. You might want to go back and watch that before you watch this, but don't worry about it if you don't. So I'm just going to pop my cloth in. Just tighten it up. Oh gosh, I nearly got myself again. This doesn't have to be, I keep saying this, it doesn't have to be drum tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover up this little dot. And what I'll need this week is a long darning needle, and some threads. Now I'm going to change colours. So I'm kind of going with these. These are all pearl cotton 12 weights. Reggie's crying. Reggie, he wants to get on my knee and he's not, because I can't see what I'm doing if he gets on my knee. And then I'm going with a Sheepy's Maxi Sweet Treat as well. This is a bit of a heavier weight, a thicker weight. So first up then, get my needle threaded. I'm going, let's go with this nice red orange. I'm just going to pop those away. I might have to go and stop him from crying. This is a little bit long, so I'm just going to cut it in half, so we don't want a great big long bit like that. I'll just pop that to one side because I will use that again in a minute. Right, which one am I on? I'm on this one, a bit shorter. If you're darning, you want to use a longish needle. I'm going to have to use, and I like to use a needle threader because I can't see. I'm going to go and have to sort Reggie out because I don't know what he wants now. Can you hear him crying in the background? I think it's because we've had dinner, and I've left a little bit of chicken cooling, and he thinks it's for him. It's not for him. Right, so just bear with me a moment and I'll be back. That's that sorted. he's naughty. So I am going to try and cover this little dot up of paint. I don't know if you can see it. This beautiful antique linen cloth sheet that somebody's. I know I keep dragging this out, don't I? But somebody used it for painting, and yeah, I keep using it up, but it's still good. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine these two stitches, the seed stitch which I've covered up, and this. I'm not going to draw myself any lines in because I'm going to try and do it organically here, but actually I might have to draw myself a line in because I want to go straight, don't I? And I can't keep a straight line to save my life. So I'm just going to draw a line there roughly and a line there roughly. Okay, I'm using a aquatrick marker, and this will come off with a spritz of water, so don't worry about that. You can use whatever pen you've got to hand, pencil, whatever, but I find these are easier because they do disappear. Right, so we're going to do the seed stitch up and down, but I'm going to start kind of here because I've gone a little bit close, and you want to be horizontal. Put your needle in and take a little stitch. Okay, I'm hoping you can see me. But you want to leave about 3 or 4 inches. Okay, then you're going to go back, do a back stitch, and you only want to do, you don't want to do any more than a millimetre stitch. It's the difference between this and back stitches that you only do tiny little back stitches, you don't meet it up. So then you're going to come back up and you've done the tiniest little stitch. Okay, so then we're going to go back again. Oh, my tummy rumbling, and do another stitch. Okay, so we're going to carry on doing that all the way up. You can use a darning mushroom or darning egg or whatever. I've just found it easier to do it on a hoop for this stitch. If you haven't got a darning hoop or a darning mushroom or a darning egg, these are a hoop's just as good. You can do it on the underside of a bowl, all sorts of things. I'm just going all the way up, keeping my stitches nice and tiny on the front. So let's get going. So when you watch this, I will have been to, let me just think where I am at, Glasgow. We'll have been to the Creative Craft Show, Glasgow, and we'll probably be on our way back or exhausted in the hotel somewhere. Okay, so I've gone quite a way past. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my work by 180 degrees. Okay, And we do the same as we did last week, and we go up a stitch and across, take a little stitch. Let me just show you. So going up to the next row, and we're going to come and do a little stitch, take another stitch. You don't want these stitches to be in line or even, you want them to be uneven really. So we're going to take another little back stitch, oh, this is going to keep getting hooked up on that, isn't it? Luminic, come on, just hold it out of the way. Another stitch. That is very annoying. Try and keep it out of the way. And I'm just going to carry on doing that until I get to the other end, and I'm going to come back. Oops. Once you get going, your stitches start to be about the same distance and size and everything away from each other. So if you came to see us at any of the shows, Textile East or Glasgow, and said hello to you guys. It was an exciting time, I have to say. Very busy, and we'll be exhausted. So I'm going to keep going. And I do want to change colour, but I won't do that until I literally start to run out of thread. Let's just do another turn around. Okay, so again, turn my work 180 degrees, come back down this time, and I'm going to go a stitch and then a little stitch back. Oops. Gone a little bit further away this time, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to go all the way back down, and I'm going to keep going until I come to the end of this thread, and once I do that, I'll be back. Right. I have got to my yellow dot. Do you see? What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a tiny little back. I've done a tiny. I am going to do a tiny little back stitch and then come up next to where I want my stitch to come through, and then I'm going to take a very long stitch, okay, over this yellow dot. Hold on. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, so I'm coming up another little tiny stitch. I'm going straight over that. I'm missing everything, coming straight over it, and another little stitch. Do you see? There we are. Don't pull too tight, and we want to do another little back stitch, and then carry on into the end. And I'm going to run out of thread, so we'll do that as well while we're here. You don't want to pull these stitches too big. In fact, that might be a little bit loose. So I'm just going to tighten it up a little bit. Come in with my needle and just a little bit tighter. Yeah. I maybe need to pull this tight so it's not making it too loose. Just bear with me a moment. Just tighten my cloth a little bit because it's gone a little bit baggy. So, are we all right? Yes, we're all right now. Just thread myself back up. A pair of sharp scissors is always useful in when we're doing anything like this, darning, embroidery, and probably going to need to. Can I see? I'm in a funny position, like, no, can't do it. Let's get the needle threader out. Oh, and I can't even see to go through that. There we are. That's it. Right. So I'm back. And I'm coming all the way to the end. Out my way. Now, you've got two choices at this stage. You can leave your threads on top or take them through to the back. I'm going to leave them on top, and one of the reasons is I may keep them there. I might keep them there. So I'm just going to snip it a little bit shorter. So now I'm going to change colour and hope that in fact, I will use a thread that you'll definitely see. I don't want to go I'll go a bit longer this time. If you haven't got a long darning needle, a straw needle, milliner's needle is just as good. The only thing with a darning needle is the eyes are a little bit bigger. So, because I've got a couple of threads that side, I think I'm going to go and start up here. Just in case. Because my plan is kind of developing as I go along for this. I know what I'm doing. Do I want to keep it this way or that way? Do I want to use the threads as display, decoration, or do I want to? So I'm just going to even up a bit of thread this side, just in case I do want to keep it. I hope that makes some kind of sense to you. So I'm starting again and I'm going, let me just hold that out of the way. I hope you can see. Back stitch. And back over, back under. I don't like this side because this is in the way. Right, let's just straighten this thread up a bit. You can use beeswax if you like. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit on. But your natural oils in your hands should be enough if you work it enough. So I'm going to back stitch, a little back stitch, and come up. Oh, sorry, I am very cack-handed. A stitch. Have I got a different needle then? I think I have. It feels different. Anyway, so I'm going to keep going to the dot again. Definitely got a different needle. I have. It's amazing how you get used to a certain needle. Let's put you behind there. Do you know, I'm going to have to change it. It's that was it. This has got a little bit of give in it. That one definitely didn't have any give whatsoever. There we go. And I need that to sort of move my thread, get it in and out, because it's on a hoop. I struggle. And now I'm going to be in a knot, of course. Does anybody else have that problem with needles? I like it. I have a favourite needle. I have favourite needles. Favourite things for different things. So right, we're coming up to my little dot and I'm going to come up really close to it. And this is the actual essence of darning. You're mending something that isn't as it was. I.e., we're going to get rid of this little yellow paint stain. So we're going over all along and down. Let's go down there and come back up again. Bit bigger stitch to be fair. So my needle's nicer. I've covered it over. Okay, back stitch, and I am literally going to go to the end of this row. Oops, make my stitch a little bit bigger. Doesn't want to get a knot in. The problem is when you have a long thread, it wants to knot. And also, if you've got a bit of a frayed end, just snip it off and it'll help it stop knotting. Yeah, that's why I try not to use too long a thread. And it still wants to knot. Look, There we go. The only problem with having all these threads is they want to get involved in your stitching, don't you? Yeah, I don't like having a very long. Oh dear, sorry everybody. This is a moany. This is my moan when I have a long thread. Right, we're going to turn our work. Sorry, and come back down. Oh, all the way till I get to the yellow dot again. I'm a bit closer to that line than I want to be, but I don't mind. It's all adding to the texture and the charm of it. Oh my gosh, I hope you can't hear my stomach rumbling. It's one of my hairs. I've noticed, unfortunately, when you've got long hair, it seems to get absolutely everywhere. And I've got long hair. Harvey has long, curly, spirally curled hair. And then I've got Gertrude, the cat, who loves to come and get involved. Right, we're going it down again. Sorry, stop talking. Down again there. We are. Feels a bit baggy, but we'll be fine. Yeah, Gertrude, who likes to come and lay down on things, she sheds her hair. But Reggie is part poodle, so he doesn't shed, which is good. But I often have things and they're covered in Gertrude's hair. Or mine. Okay, so can you see I'm building up and I'm covering this up here. So I'm turning my work again and I'm going back along. Sometimes you need to just get yourself going on this end, on the ends. And now I'm, oh my goodness me, I'm in a right old knot. Here we are. Back stitch and carry on. And you're just going to do this same thing. Obviously, you might not have a dot of paint, but draw yourself a little shape to cover. It might be a square circle, whatever. But it just so happened that I was lucky. You might actually have a hole. Just going to go one more over this and then I will go away. If I decide I want to change colour, I'll come back again and show you. Just going to come up a bit. If you're new at this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, she keeps getting tangled up, just persevere. Honestly, it's not as difficult as I kind of make it look sometimes, because the angle I'm trying to sew at to film isn't my natural angle. So we're coming back over that again and back stitch. Yeah, so I'm going to carry on. I'm going to do this until I've either ran out of this thread or had enough of this thread. I've decided that I want a different colour of it. I've got some paler thread. I've also got the other end of that, this red one that I had, this variegated one. So I may come in and do that, but I may not. We'll see. So right, I'm going to carry on until I've gone past my dot and carried on up here, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I've finished what I want to do on this side, and I'm just going to snip you off. Remember where I put my needle. I'm putting it in there, in here. Shout at me if I start going for a different needle. I like that one. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we want to weave this, but we want to come back and do this a similar sort of thing. Now, you can carry on with your threads that we've used. You know, these ones, that's absolutely fine. I've got no problem with that. I probably would do as well. But I thought, oops, I'm going to go in and have a little bit of a thicker texture. Just move you out of the way. I've got a lot of thread hanging around here. So I wanted a longish, I'm not going too mad, about an arm's length. And this is about an 8 weight, and this is Sheepy's Maxi Sweet Treat. Let me just get the needle threader because I know that I won't get that through there. And I do have this in my shop, and I know, I'm sorry for mentioning my shop, my online website shop again. Oh, I don't want to come through. It will. Which one am I doing? Oh, I'm pulling the wrong thread. This thread's a little bit big for this needle. Little bit big. But it's going to come through. Come on. Well, it wouldn't be if I didn't have to use the needle threader. Oh my goodness me. I know it's painful to watch, isn't it? There we are. Sorry, everybody. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to come up and do the same again, but we're going to weave this like we did in the previous, a couple of weeks ago, like this. But that's like a little woven. But I'm going to start, I'm just going to draw myself a line, because you know how I like a line. I'm just going to start this side. Right, and I'm going to come to that. I know they're not straight. Right. Oops. So exactly the same. I'm going in and up and down, in and out. Oh, you didn't want to come through, did you? Leave yourself enough thread to either finish off at the back or leave it as a, let me just untwist this. It's got itself in a bit of a knot. It's like a telephone cord. Do you remember that? Oops, I've pulled it straight through. Oh, you can't see it off camera. I pulled it straight through. Do you remember back in the day he had like a little sparrow on his telephone cord, and they used to get all tangled up, didn't they? Twisted up. He'd have to hold the phone part up and hang the handset down. You youngsters out there that don't know what one of those is, you're not, you haven't lived. Right, so I'm doing back stitch. I've probably said this on another video, but I was always envious of when I watched American television programs and they'd got their telephone cords could go like into another room. Ours couldn't. Right, where are we? Oh, I'm holding on to the wrong piece. Sorry, it's there. And usually the telephone was in the same room as everybody else. So if he was trying to have a private conversation, it was impossible, basically. Everybody could hear. Oh dear. I can remember my sister, my older sister, her boyfriend used to ring up and we'd all sit there listening in. And then quiz her when she got off the phone. Oh dear. So I'm literally going to do exactly the same. Go up and down, up and then come back down. But let's just move you out. Oh, have I gone back? Yes, it's all right. I suddenly forgot what I was doing. I wanted to show you the back. So when I get to the end, I'll show you the back. And you hear it popping when I come through. It's because this needle's too small for the thread. Ideally, I want to go up a size, but I don't want to because I like this needle. I'm getting very tangled up. Up or down a size, whichever. With needles, the sizes get bigger as the needle gets smaller, thinner. Which doesn't seem right, doesn't it? So I'm coming through. I'm going straight across. Ooh. Now, as I said, you could use the same thread. I'm using a different thread just to give extra texture. That's a me thing. You can stay with the same colour, should you wish. You don't have to change colours at all. But you can see I'm on a kind of colour scheme. I don't know where the colour schemes come from, but I think it's because I started off using this candy floss thread, which is one of my favourite colours. I love it in the candy floss range. Okay, so I'm up. Oh my gosh, my tummy. Just move you out of the way. I'm going to turn my hoop at 180 degrees. Come back. And go down again. So I'm just going to do this. I'll go to the end of here, and then when I get to this, when I come back again, I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm inserting this little video because I realised that I was completely off camera when I was doing this part of the darn. So when I watched it back, you couldn't see what I was doing. So we've done, this is a new piece I've had to do, so bear with. Imagine it's the old piece. So we've gone up and down that way, and we're going to come back on ourselves doing the seed stitch until we meet our longer stitches. And then what we're going to do, is we're coming right up to the first stitch. We want to come stitch it right up to the first line of long stitches, and then come back, and then you're just going to stitch right up to the first stitch, and we're going to go over that first long stitch. I'm using the back end of my needle. Just bear with me, she says. And I'm going to go over that first stitch, under the second, over the next, under the next, and over the last stitch. And I'm just going to pull it all the way through, exactly like I showed you on the woven stitch. Okay, then I'm going to go, because I've gone over, I want to go down through the cloth next to that long stitch. Okay, and then we're going to just carry on and do a seed stitch all the way. I'm just going to put those down a bit, push them down. Okay. Did I do a seed stitch? Not yet. So I'm going to do that. Hope you can see. I've chosen not a very good colour thread, have I? Don't know what I was thinking there. And it was the first one that was on my desk. So we're going back down. Come up. Turn your work by 180 degrees as usual. And then we're going to go all the way to the long stitch again. She's barking because the neighbours have come back, and he loves to go and greet everybody. So this one, because we came over that stitch last off, we want to go under. So you're doing alternative. So under, over, under, over, under, and all the way back through. Right? So you're weaving, and it's exactly the same as we did on the first week. Just going to do a little tiny stitch, and then I do a back stitch. Right, just checking I'm still in screen. I'm now going to have a fear of that, and I'm going to carry on. I went completely off. So I'm going to go over this stitch and take a stitch. Sorry. Okay, do you see? And I'm just going to pull that through, get rid of you, and do the back stitch. And I'm going to stitch to the end with the seed stitch. Okay. I'm going to show you the back of this. I wanted to show you the last time, I forgot. Right. Oops, that stitch was a little bit big. I'm going a bit crazy with these stitches because this thread is a bit too thick, and I'm going to swap it out because I am struggling with it. There we go. I'm struggling with this needle rather than struggling with the thread. So I'm just going to snip that off. I'm not struggling with this, I'm struggling with the combination of the needle and the thread, because the thread's too thick for the needle. Right, just leave you there, don't move. So let's just give you a pointing. So I've gone over, under, over, under, over, and back, and then along. So I'm just going to flip it over and show you the back. Can you see? I'm missing this completely out. If you had a hole here and you wanted, you didn't want the hole, you could pop a little patch on it and just tack it on. I'll show you that at a later stage, on a later one. But this wouldn't, if this was a hole, it wouldn't run anymore because you've got these stitches in it. Okay. So right, let's get some different thread on. Let's have a U thread. I'm just gonna, I'm going back to this purl 12. Okay. Bending my needle. Yeah. Just going to put a bit of wax on. If you are using a silk thread, don't use wax. Just wet it with a bit of water. It dulls your thread. But this is not shiny thread. This is dull thread anyway. So we're going to come back up. We're going to start again. Oh, let's go this way. We finished there. Yeah, we did finish there. So I'm coming. Don't want to make that too short. Want to be able to go through the back if we want to go through the back. So don't make your thread ends too short. You need them to be long enough just in case you want to go through the back and weave them in. Right. Just hang on to those a minute. So we want to get right up to our long stitches. Oh, I've made that stitch a little bit short, but I don't ideally want to be. You want to make sure you've got a gap in between all your little seed stitches. Otherwise, it's, you're not going to see the beauty of it. It becomes becomes a back stitch. Right. It's all right. I'm just getting ahead of myself. So this, because I came over, let me just get my little tool. Because I came over with this stitch, this thread, I want to go under this time because you need to alternate. So I'm just going to go back. It's a little bit, I've gone a bit mad, haven't I? But I'm not. I'm going to go underneath, under, over, under, under, over. Okay, so can you see I've got alternating, and I'm just going to pull all the way through. I'm sorry if I look a bit like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. It's because I'm trying to show you in the camera. I am at a crazy angle. Oh dear. So we've gone under the last stitch. And then we're going to go back down and take a stitch. Okay. Take a stitch. And then we're going to come back over and do the little tiny back stitch. Okay. And keep going to the end, or to wherever you want it to be. Ooh, that's a bit of a big stitch. Okay. So I've come to the end. Not sure whether or not you can actually see, but it's getting a little, it's gone the opposite. So you weave in, you're getting like a little basket weave. Just have a little slurp of tea, and then we're going to turn again and come back the other way. The thing is, if you've got the finer your thread, the more passes you'll have to do. This is super fine thread, really, for doing this. That's why I wanted to use this bit thicker, but it doesn't matter. Keep going, and I'll show you one more time, then I will go away, do my bit and come back. Because we'll be here until Christmas. If we did. If I showed you every stitch of this, I'm sure. I've got a knot again. Hey. So just keep on going in a straight line. If you are new to this and a beginner, which I don't do this every week, so I have to sort of relearn it every time I do it, you might want to take your threads to the back, but you know, perseverance and all that. Okay, so little tiny stitch, and we went under that first stitch this way, so I want to go over it this time. So I'm just going to come up. I might have to do a stab stitch actually, just back. I'm holding my breath again. Stab and then come back up, because it's such a tiny. That's the only problem with the hoop. It's difficult to manipulate. So I'm coming over the top of this first stitch, under the top, under the next, over, under, over. Okay. And then I want to go over that. Try not to pull too tight. Take your stitch and go. You do your little back stitch. Oops. And carry on. And carry on to the end and do your turn around. Okay. And now I'm going to keep on stitching this until I get to this bit here. You see where these two stitches are a little bit shorter. then I'll come back and show you this bit. Okay, so I have got to my bit where my stitches are longer. Okay, I've swapped back to my thicker thread and I've gone off pieced with my needle, and I've got a little chenille needle in. I'm back to my old favourites, aren't I? So I'm just going to go right up to my stitches. I'm going over the top of where those ones finished. Don't need to know about those. Okay. I want to just look at, are we focusing, where my stitch went. So the last time on this stitch, this long stitch, let me just grab this pointy stick, I went over it with my thread. Don't know whether you can see. So this time I want to come under it and over that one. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right, going in the right direction. I'm just going to take my little back stitch first. Just come back and back up because that was a huge stitch. There we are. Oops. So I'm going underneath that first stitch, over the next, and under the one next to it. I don't know whether you can see. So you're weaving. Okay, and you just pull that through. And then I am going to carry on. So you've only got 3 stitches, big long stitches, to contend with now. So then I'm going to just weave and come back. I think I'll just have enough thread to go one back again. I'm just going to, because I'm running out of thread, I'm making this one a bit shorter. Don't want to, they're a bit in line, these ones are. Let's just try and get us out of that. Here we go. Try not to get them too regimental. When you've got a thicker thread, you need to take a bigger stitch. Otherwise, you're going to be ending up joined together. So just take another stitch, and then we'll come into the long stitch again. So I want to go over that stitch, over this stitch, over the first stitch, under the second, over the third. Okay, and then take my stitch again. Oops, hang on. I've lost me. Take a little stitch. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to finish off with this thread and join another one. But because I've finished my long weaving stitches, I'm going to go back and find a nice finer thread. This one somewhere. There we go. Pull that off. It's starting to look really pretty, but I don't want to finish it there. I want to do just another couple of stitches, rows. So let's just get this one on. I was trying to stitch with a needle that was snapped off earlier. Don't know how I'd done that, I'm sure. Which end do we come in? We'll start at this end. We'll start up here. I think what I'm going to do is, because I've got quite a few threads, haven't I? I'll probably do some through the back and then some, leave some on the surface. I'll have a little look. When I finish, I'll have a look. Don't wrap your, try not to wrap your thread around your needle. That's not going to help. I'm getting very tangled up in here now. There we are. Oh, got a knot. Out the way. Yeah, you do tend to get tangled up when you've got a bit going on the front. But not such a bad thing when you're stitching and you're just in the zone. Can you imagine them doing this by just the light of a candle or the light from a window, the moonlight or whatever? They wouldn't have had all these bright lights, would they? Back when this was at its height. You know, the cloth was the precious commodity. If they had sheets, they were lucky and they wanted to, well, they were, you know, they were expensive items. So they needed to be repaired and kept at the best, really. And they'd probably only have, if they had a pair of socks, you know, I can remember my granny darning my grandpa's socks. And literally it was all darn and no sock. Because they just didn't throw things away. They weren't like we are, you know. They weren't a consumer-led society, were they? But yeah, I just can remember him saying, "Flo, there's now left on these socks." My grandma's name was Florence. Oh, I've got a big knot there now. Ooh. Hold on. See if I can get rid of the knot. Oh, got all this way without getting a really tiny knot, haven't I? I'm just going to get rid of this knot and I'll be back. Phew, managed it. So I'm going to finish at this on this row. I actually think if you would sock darning and you got your little darning mushroom out, I imagine it was quite a nice, peaceful end of the day kind of job to do when you've done everything else. I don't know, I don't think anybody ever stopped, did they? That's a huge stitch. Right, we are coming to the end of this row. I'm going to make a decision, but I seem to have quite a few threads, and I'm not entirely sure I want all those threads. Let me have a little look. Gosh, did that huge stitches there. Right, okay. Let's have a think. I'll just zoom you in. That looks really lovely. You see the weave, oh, in the middle. Really cute, really lovely. So, do I want to keep the stitches on the surface or do I want to leave them? I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back through with this one and I'll show you the back. I mean, this is as beautiful as on the back as it is on the front. So what I'm going to do is to weave in my threads, and I'm going along the same stitch, so it along the same line. Sorry. Okay, I'm going quite a way down, so it doesn't come unravelled. Right, let's get rid of that needle. I feel like there are a few too many here. I might just get rid of some, go back through. I think that's what I shall do. I'll go back through with a few. Okay, so always do a back stitch and go back through. And then weave. Oh, come on, threaded. It's because that thread is way too short. Too short, and I'm also, for some reason, haven't taken it out of the hoop. Let's take it out of the hoop. That'll make life a little bit easier. There we go. Right, let's get you threaded back up. Needle back. Yeah, you just want to whip through the stitches, weave through the stitches at the back. Just keep them as neat as possible. There we go. And you see, you can't see it. Right, I'm going to do some more of this, and then I'll come back and show you my finished piece. Whether or not I've kept these or not, I'm not sure. So I'll be back. So I decided in the end to take everything through to the back. I just felt like, let me see if it will focus. It don't seem to want to focus. There we go. Come back. Yeah. I asked the son and heir, and he said, his words were, "He's a little bit try hard." So he obviously meant I was trying to make it look a bit older than it was, you know, with the threads and everything. So I thought, well, you know what, let's just go back with it. So that is the finished piece. And I'm keeping it with this bit because I might use this again for another bit along the, you know, down the line. So let's just move that out of the way. But I'm really pleased with that. I really am pleased with that. Really lovely. I'll spritz this and get rid of it, but on the back, look, it's just as neat. Don't want to focus, so come on. There we are. Just as nice on the back. So I'm going to spritz that, get rid of the pen. There we go. Magic pen. And that's it. Phew. That seemed to be an epic one, didn't it? Sorry it was so long. But if you've enjoyed it, as always, please do give me the thumbs up. And, you know, if you're new here and you've not subscribed yet, or if you've been here a while and you've not subscribed, come on, subscribe. I was watching another video and someone had said in the comments that asking for likes and asking to subscribe is like being a modern day beggar. Oh my goodness me. I just thought, I don't know. I don't know what my thoughts went through my head, I'm sure. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it and I'll see you again soon. Happy stitching, everyone.